Caner Universe, it's Caner Tip Tuesday. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense. And what in the world is Joe Robaina doing with this drugstore variety cane with a derby style handle on it? Well, obviously there's a reason for that, and I'm going to let you in on that. It's a very special season that we're doing now here, coming up with a Caner Tip Tuesday. But before we do any of that, a warm welcome to those of you who are here for the first time. Two things you want to do straight off. Well, three things. If you do like the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any future content, especially for this special series. The other thing is you have two free resources. One of them is the no-cost cane clarity call. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we'll be on a phone call with you. We schedule these so that we can dedicate time to you to answer all your questions regarding everything from canes, anything having to do really with the cane culture, whether you're new or you're an experienced instructor and you want to learn how to serve your audience best, but most importantly, how to get cane trained. And then the other thing you want to do is look in the description. There's a Facebook group. It's private, but it's open as well to the public. It's called Cane Flow, and just request entry and they will let you right in. So what is this all about? Well, we just finished our American cane boxing immersion here. We do it, that's winter cane immersion. And in the fall cane immersion 2023, we are going to, for the first time ever, going to feature the Cuban cane art of Sobrevivencia, founded by Maestro Eduardo Ruiz, who we have been giving him a platform for over a decade now. And many of you are familiar with him. When you come down to immersions, you get it as part of your bonus training, and you've seen him in action. And I'm not going to get into, in the series, I'll give you more details about it, because it's a very good probability this is the first time, because he's never shared this outside of our organization there. We've been privy to that, and we're thrilled to be able to offer his certification. I'll talk more about that now in September. But this kind of cane has a lot to do with it, for the simple reason. Let me give you a comparison. When American Cane Self-Defense, right? I had access, and this is one from my private collection. This is a triple gripper from back. Look at the wood, and just off camera, Vanessa was telling me, boy, they don't make it. You feel this, and this is, wow, this feels like a 2-pound cane. This is an absolute bazooka. And based on the fact that I had access to this, and this is a very American thing. This is the American cane arts. There is a concern for the cane itself. My description of it is it's essentially a bazooka, and so I developed that Powershot template so that you're strong, you're going through, and the idea was, boy, we're coming at you hard and aggressively and fast, hard, and accurately, and it was just overwhelmed, and it gave rise to things like that juggernaut strategy. During the same time, in the early to mid 90s, Maestro Reese was, the island was going through political oppression over there, and he didn't have access to something like that. He had to rely on something like this, and this plays a big role in his system because it changes your strategy, right? So if you're depending on the tool, you choose that strategy. And for him, it had to be a movement-based art. And you've heard me say that before about cane flow. There are a lot of parallels between Maestro Reese's Sobrevivencia and ACSD cane flow. A lot of the principles, but today I'm going to share one with you that is different, and is different because of what he had access to. Now, don't get me wrong. You may have heard him in our trainings. He points to the canes that everybody's holding and says things like, those are the greatest canes in the world, whether they be wooden canes or they be, the Raven cane, aircraft grade aluminum. But then he's quick to point out that he can do anything that we can do with those canes, and even more so with something like this, because he places the emphasis on training. So think about that for a second. It wasn't a tool that he could lead with up here like we did with ACT. He had to rely on something else. And I'll share two quick principles. I'm just going to give you a visual of where he's coming from. And then if you like that, go ahead and comment on it, and I'll go ahead and continue with the series. But this is in promotion of his upcoming certification, which I'll talk about in a second. One of the things he always points out is that the absolute principle that cannot be violated, regardless of the cane system that you follow, is one of distance. Verbatim from him, 80% of the applications in this system have to deal with deceiving the opponent. Has nothing to do with power, not being stronger, not speed, not being faster or younger or having this ability. It has to do a lot of it with your timing and how you maintain that distance and how you occupy space. Principles in an ACSD you're familiar with, but I'll show you this. And boy, it looks like I'm using a prop today. If you ever seen Maestro Reese, there's always something like this. It's either a mop, a broomstick. He always has something other than a cane, and it's just everyday items, because with his system, anything that you have in your hand becomes that tool. This is what he always shows with the distancing. So this is where she's going to be real effective, and it's the one place I can't be. I can be outside of that. She does the same thing. I'm over here, no problem. I can be over here. But the one place that I absolutely cannot be is here. The deceiving aspect of it, and there's several, and I'll show you one of the movements, is it translates into English, from Spanish to English, into hiding the cane. And it's a movement that looks like this. The movement, whether you're walking forward or backwards, looks like this, where there's a hiding of the cane. Now we have similar movements in ACSD. You have steering wheel horizontal, steering wheel vertical as well, and that is essentially what it looks like. And so one of the things that he often demonstrates is when something like this is coming, because he could not, this wasn't going to hold up to it, he doesn't care to make contact, is you're going to need your footwork and your body movement to get you right out of there right away. And every single time he'll make contact, but it's right on bone, it's on the wrist. He hits the hands a lot. And you hear it with ACSD, if you take out the limbs, you win. And consistently, assistant after assistant will tell you, boy, that shot that he delivers there can crush bone, even with something like this. The other component of it is that system of moving in gives you an opportunity to control. Why? It's an infighting system. It's in here. Do you see why? You can't be out here. When I had a bazooka like that back in the day, I knew I was going to go right through anything, right? Young guy, strong, powerful, powerlifting, come at you aggressively, tight in a guard zone, back you up, still effective today. This is a little bit different because of the tool that he has. So in his case, he would come in here and now move in all the way. And the first thing, if you look here, the cane is in such a position that if she goes to raise, she's stuck in here. The other thing she could try to do is come to the side, and what happens there? Yeah, it's jammed. And if I move up, notice how little the movement is going to the center line and stepping in. The only other, how do you move out of there? What do you do? It would have to, and what happens when you try to get out of there?
The leg is jammed.
Yeah, the leg is jammed, right? So it doesn't let you go anywhere. And it's with this base movement where the cane, he's not showing you the cane, and before you know it, there he is, and he's to the inside. Not just is he in a safe place, he's making you pay for that, and then he has you, quote unquote, shut down. He's shutting down any follow-up to that because, well, it's something that you have to experience to understand why he's jammed, but in essence, he's occupied your center. The movement, the base movement, nothing more than this, which is the way that you walk. I often talk about, we have one of the footworks in ACSD called a Charleston that moves from here to here, and it's that, well, how do you learn how to crawl, right? Cross crawl, when the brain is functioning properly. When it's not, sometimes you see patterns like this. But this is their natural movements that are designed to work to your advantage as the years go by. Maestro Reese is 68. That's the average age of our caners worldwide. Senior most is 84. The youngest is in their 20s. But if you're watching this, chances are you're probably not 20, 30, or 40, right? And you remember what that used to be like. But this is a system that takes all those factors out of it and it allows you to still be able to defend yourself. And something that I'll touch upon in the series is the movements are designed to build the body, to rehab the body. That's one of the reasons you put this system. So just fascinating. If you like it, let me know. We'll give you more of that. But a little bit about September. And the dates, what are the dates? 19 through the 22nd, I believe it's 19 through the 22nd, 2023. That is Fall Cane Immersion. And for the first time ever, Maestro Reese will be doing his level 1 certification, or what he calls Nivel Básico, which translates into the basic, the first level of that system. And boy, how special to be able to learn it directly from the Grand Master of the system. You can't learn it anywhere else in the world. It's one of those curriculums that he's left it and trusted myself and ACSD with it. But how great to be able to share and be able to do it with him. Those of you that have already seen him in action. Now, I say this, and you know how when I tell you something, hey, it's like that. I'm not trying to, get you to register. No, this one will close out quicker for the simple reason that there are individuals that already have vouchers. They're starting to redeem those vouchers for this one. And because I always have to translate for him, it's something that takes a little bit longer. So this is better when you don't have as many in there, right? It's just a matter of practicality. If you like it, if you have an interest in that, and to discuss if that's something that would work for you, go ahead and text FALL, FALL 2023 to 305-745-7839. Let's have a conversation. I'll give you more information on it. But more importantly, comment on it. If you like this here, I'll go ahead and give you some more of this. And towards the end of March, I plan on doing a Zoom meeting with him, possibly open, certainly obviously for ACSD, but possibly open to the general public so that you can learn more about this little known Cuban cane art of survival. I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense with a different kind of cane that you may just like, right? Regardless of what you have in your hands. Keep caning, stay safe.